Ian from RTO here. Welcome to Friday's live album ranking. And today we're going to have a look at Caravan, band from Canterbury area. Formed by David Sinclair, Richard Sinclair, Pi Hastings and Richard Coghlan back in 1968. Now, they had some great studio albums and they've released 15 live albums as well. Unfortunately, not all of them are in print or are streamable, so we'll just mention them before we go into the actual ranking. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Live in Holland, that was released in 1997. It's no longer available at the moment. It's Pi Hastings, Richard Coghlan, Dave Sinclair, Doug Boyle on guitars, Jim Leverton bass, Jeffrey Richardson. It's got Memory Lane on it, Head Loss for Girls, It's a Son of Fair, The Dog. And it's here again, Cold as Ice, Somewhere in Your Heart, Travelling Ways, which is one of the more later tracks. I Know When You're Laughing from Battle of Hastings from 95, Liar. 9 Feet Underground, of course, brilliant. Behind You, It's Not Real, For Richard. Golf Girl, love that track, and If I Could Do It All Over Again. Yeah, it's not available. It's got a lot of the new songs it's got from Battle of Hastings, which is probably the album they were touring with. Okay, the next one is Nowhere to Hide, which is an official bootleg, and it recorded in Japan in 2002, and it featured the final performance of Dave Sinclair. So you got Pi on vocals and guitar, Dave on the keyboards, Doug Boyle on the guitar, Jim Leverton bass and Richard Coghlan drums, Jeffrey Richardson violins and flutes, and Simon Bentel. So this one's got tracks from Cunning Stunts like All the Way, Liars on here from the Battle of Hastings, The Dog, It's Here It Again from The Girls That Grow Plump in the Night, Nowhere to Hide's on here, If I Could Do It All Over Again, we've got For Richard, and the big track. So yeah, another album which would have been good because it's, of course, Dave Sinclair's final recordings. Okay, another one that's not in print now is Caravans with Strings Attached, which was around in 2003, recorded in Quebec. The band was Pi Hastings, Dave Sinclair, Doug Boyle, Jim Leverton, Richard Coghlan, Jeffrey Richardson and Simon Bentel. We've got Head Loss on here, The Dog, here it is, It's At It Again. Travelling Ways on, and then there's a little medley of songs from Cunning Stunts, Waterloo, Lily in the Land of the Pink and Grey, and The Girls Who Grow Plump. 9 Feet Underground's on here, Nightmare and For Richard. It's a shame because there's some really good tracks on this, and the one that I really wish I could get hold of is an album called A Hunting We Shall Go, recorded in 1974. It was released in 2008, but it's disappeared. It's their performance at Ebbsfield, Denver, Colorado. It's a rare document of the band's mid-1970s lineup as well. It's a radio broadcast. It's Pi Hastings, Dave Sinclair, Jeffrey Richardson, Mike Wedgwood and Richard Coghlan. It's a shame. So it's got A Hunting We Shall Go from Cunning Stunts. It's an early live version, so it's probably one of the first times they played it. For Richard's on here, and Hoedown. It's 3 little early tracks, so it's a shame. So they're the ones that are not available anymore. So let's get into the ones that are available and we can listen to. So at number 10, came out in 2002, and it's A Knight's Tale. And it's recorded at the Patriots Theatre, Trenton, New Jersey. The band was Pi Hastings vocals and guitar, Jeffrey Richardson on flutes and violins and guitars, Dave Sinclair on the keyboards, Doug Boyle on guitar, Jim Leverton on the bass, Richard Coghlan on the drums, and Simon Bentel on percussion. So, the first track is a track from Blind Dog at St Dunstan's, and it's all the way in a very smelly, grubby little oik. Then we get an 18-minute version of 9 Feet Under. You can't go wrong. And then they do this little medley of songs. The songs is Dab Song Concerto, All Aboard for Where But For Caravan, Would I Oh Caroline, the Dab Song, Hunting We Shall Go. It's got, they're all from Cunning Stunts, Waterloo Lily and the Land of Pink and Grey. Then from Better By Far they did Nightmare, I Know Why You're Laughing from the Battle of Hastings, and a full version of For Richard from the If I Could Do It All Over Again. There's so many tracks on here, not so many tracks on here, but they all average about 14 minutes long. But it's a really good little selection of songs, so I'm going to give that a 6 out of 10. Okay, at number 9. Now this was recorded in 1997, and it's Canterbury Comes to London, and it was released in 1999. So it's Pi Hastings, Doug Boyle, Jeffrey Richardson, Dave Sinclair, Jim Leverton and Richard Coghlan and Simon again. This one starts off with 2 tracks from the For Girls Who Grow Plump in the Night. We have Memory Lane and Head Loss, the brilliant 9 Feet Underground, and the dog and He's At It Again. Love that title, from Girls Who Grow Up Plump in the Night again. Cold as Ice and Battle of Hastings, really good live, much better live. And then another 2 tracks from that album, Somewhere in Your Heart, I Know Why You're Laughing, and Blyer. Then we have the brilliant For Richard and Golf Girl. I love that track. It's a mixture of, obviously these were touring, when they were Battle of Hastings was like the most current album. A few of them tracks, a mixture of the old ones. Yeah, it's a nice little album, so I shall give that an RTO ranking of 6.5. At number 8, we've got recorded live in concert at the Metropolis studio. So it's one of these live in a studio, and it was done in 2010. So it's Pi, Jeffrey, Jim on keyboards. Now we've got Iain Shalas, Mark Walker's on the drums, and Richard Coghlan's doing percussion because he wasn't doing the drumming. He was just retired from full drumming. So again, it's got the 2. It's got Memory Lane and Head Loss from the Plump album, and I Wish I Was Stoned from If I Could Do It All Over Again. Brilliant track. Golf Girls on here. Smoking Gun, Right For Me from Battle of Hastings. And then the Unauthorised Breakfast Item, which is a pretty good track. Better by Far, we've got Nightmare. Hello from the If I Could Do It All Over Again album. Give Me More from Battle of Hastings. Fingers in the Till from the Unauthorised Breakfast Item. I'm On My Way from Battles of Hastings, and then they do the album ends with 9 Feet Underground. I mean, it's a really good set list. It does cover a lot of their ground. It's some filmed, it's an invited audience as well, so yeah, it's intimate. So I'm going to give that one a 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 7, we have Live 1990. Now this was recorded in Nottingham, and it was filmed for Central TV, which was a local TV station. And I remember this because it was a concert that marked the reunion of the 70s lineup of Pi Hastings, Richard Sinclair, David Sinclair and Richard Coghlan. I remember watching this. I recorded it because it was on at some unearthly hour in the morning. It was brilliant to watch. So that's when they opened up with Head Loss from the Girls Who Grow Plump album, and then from 1982, Voices of Hollywood from Back to Front. 9 Feet Underground, brilliant watching that. If I Could Do It All Over Again, the title track's on here. Winter Wine from In the Land of Grey and Pink, title track, and for Richard. It was great seeing this classic lineup together, and it was a great thing. I mean, I wish I'd have kept it, to be quite honest, but at least it's you can listen to it, and it is on YouTube, so it's always worth a good watch. So I'm going to give that one an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, at number 6, Surprise Supplies, recorded in 1976 in London. This came out in 1999. So this is Pi Jeffrey, Iain Shallis on the keyboards, Mike Wedgwood vocals, and Richard Coughlin on the drums. So we've got the first... Oh, and Jimmy Hastings is a guest on this, playing clarinets and flutes. So the first track is from Blind Dog of St Dunstan's. Like quite a few of these tracks are. We've got Here I Am, Chiefs and Indians, Can You Hear Me, All the Way. Then you've got A Very Smelly Grubby Little Oik, Bobbin' Wild Came Back, and which is pretty cool. Then another little sort of medley of Love in Your Eye, Catch Me a Brother, which is all from Waterloo Lily. Very good little bit of showcase from a few albums. I like how they've put them all together. It's a pretty solid album actually, this one. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.6. Okay, number 5 is one of these BBC things. It's the Lost Sessions, and it's called Green Bottles for Marjorie. It's taken from 3 sessions. One New Year's Eve 68 from the Top Gear session, May 71 Radio 1 in concert, and John Peel session in 1972. So all the people playing on here are Pi Hastings, Richard Sinclair, David Sinclair, Steve Miller, Richard Coughlin, and Jimmy Hastings. So the first track is Green Bottles for Marjorie, which is a Nun album track recorded way back in 1968. Pretty good track. Place of My Own from the debut album Caravan, and Feeling, Reeling and Squealing and Ride, all brilliant. Then from the Radio 1 in concert, 9 Feet Under in its entirety, recorded in 1971. Brilliant. Then they do In the Land of the Grey and Pink as well, and then Reeling and Squealing, a live version of that, and Love in the Eye from Waterloo Lily. Now this is the second of 2 BBC albums, and we'll be looking at the other one in a minute, but these are the lost bits, so it's pretty good. So I really enjoy these BBC catalogue things, so I'm going to give that one an 8 out of 10. Okay, at number 4 is an album, BBC, and it's called The Show of Our Lives, and it's Caravan at the BBC from 1968 to 1975. A lot of it's from John Peel sing. So you've got Pi again, David and Richard Sinclair, Jeffrey. You've got John G. Perry doing some bass on this, Mike Wedgwood's on here, and Iain Shallis. So the first bit is from the New Year's Eve 68 Top Gear with John Peel, and they do 2 tracks off the debut, Place of My Own and Ride. Then there's the BBC transcription, Top of the Pops from 1970. It's a little bit of If I Could Do It All Over Again and Hello from the same album, and As If I Die from Caravan. Sounds of the 70s, there's 3 tracks. 2, we got one from the If I Could Do It Over Again, Love to Love You, Love Song Without Flute, a variant of Love Song from Caravan, and In the Land of the Pink and Grey. And then Sunday Night Concert from the Paris Theatre, 6th of May 1971. We've got 9 Feet Under, Reeling, Squealing, Hunting We Shall Go, which is brilliant, and it's great to hear that from the Plump album. Waffle Part 1 and Chance of a Lifetime from the Stunning Cunts. Go back to the Plump for Memory Lane. Head Loss from the Plump as well. Then the next bit is from John Peel Show from 1974. Start off a track from Waterloo Lily, The Love in Your Eye, the whole thing. 2 tracks from Cunning Stunts, Mirror for the Day and Virgin on the Ridiculous. Bit of a for Richard. Then there's another concert at the BBC Paris Theatre in 1975. You've got the Dab Song Concerto from Cunning Stunts, all of it. Stuck in a Hole from Cunning Stunts and The Shows of Our Lives from Cunning Stunts. Once again, BBC come up trumps. They are great albums. Love listening to these because it shows them probably in their prime. So I'm going to give that one an RTO ranking of 8.3. At number 3, it's Live UK Tour to 1975, and this was released in 2003, recorded at the Nottingham Polytechnic back in 1975. So the lineup of the band was Pye, Richard, Iain Shallis, Mike Wedgwood and Jeffrey Richardson. This one opens up from Cunning Stunts, The Shows of Our Lives. Brilliant version of that. Memory Lane and Head Loss sort of put together from the Plump album. Then we go back to the Cunning Stunts for the Dab Song and Virgin on Ridiculous. Back to the Plump album for Be Alright, that comes sort of in bits of them 2 tracks. Cunning Stunts again for A Chance of a Lifetime. Love in Your Eye from Waterloo Lily and for Richard. Another stunning concert. They may only have not many tracks, but that's all quite long. Brilliant sound. Epics from the Cunning Stunts album. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, number 2. This is from 1974 and it's live at the Fairfields Hall in Croydon. So you've got Pye, Jeffrey, Dave Sinclair, Mike Wedgwood, Richard Coughlin and Jimmy Hastings, who guests. So we have a little slice of For the Girls Who Grow Plump in the Night. We have Memory Lane and Head Loss. From Cunning Stunts again, Virgin on the Ridiculous. And then they do 2 other tracks that they put together, Be Alright and Chance of a Lifetime. Love in Your Eye from Waterloo Lily's on here. L'Objerge, The Sanguiere, A Hunting We Shall Go Backwards, A Hunting We Shall Go Again from the Plump album. And then For Richard, excellent album. The quality is really good for 1974. Captures that classic sound of Caravan. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 8.6. But my favourite and my number 1 Caravan live album was recorded in 1973. It came out in 1974 and it's Caravan and the New Symphonia. Recorded at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, with the New Symphonic Organ, conducted by Martin Ford. So it's Pye, Hastings, Jeffrey Richardson, David Sinclair, John G. Perry on the bass, Richard Coughlin, and then the orchestra. So, introduction, which is a little thing that was written, and then we have a Mirror for the Day from the Plump album, brilliant with the orchestra. The Love in Your Eye from Waterloo Lily, another outstanding. Virgin on the Ridiculous is on here as well. And then For Richard. Okay, it's not a long album, it's only a single album, but it's superb. The sound on it is just wonderful and it's got so much atmosphere. I love listening to this. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Okay, that's all for this one. That's video 2 done. Great band, Caravan. Should have been bigger than what they should have been, to be quite honest, because they are fabulous. Okay, coming up next is a new album review from Cheap Trick. It's All Washed Up. Are they all washed up? Are they still going strong? We'll find out very soon. So bye for now.